Good morning. This is your CDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Trinidad and Tobago is looking to deepen ties with France across several key sectors. Speaking at the French Embassy's Bastille Day celebrations on Tuesday, Minister of Public Utilities Barry Pedarath reaffirmed the government's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. Representing Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Sobers, Minister of Public Utilities Barry Pedarath addressed the French Embassy's Bastille Day celebrations on Tuesday evening, highlighting the strong relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and France and reaffirming the government's commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation.
Looking ahead, there remains considerable scope to broaden our bilateral partnership. As Trinidad and Tobago repositions itself as a premier investment hub within the Caribbean and Latin America, this government remains firmly committed to fostering a business-friendly environment that encourages investment, entrepreneurship, and sustainable economic growth. Against this background, we look forward to expanding collaboration with France in renewable energy, maritime services, infrastructure, digital transformation, technological innovation, and it's not in the speech, but may I also say, football.
Beyond economic cooperation, the minister pointed to opportunities for closer collaboration on global issues.
This commitment to empowering women also finds expression in the multilateral arena, as Trinidad and Tobago prepares to take up its seat as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the 2027 to 28 term. We do look forward to working closely with France, a permanent member of the Council, in advancing peace and security and addressing the complex challenges confronting our international community.
Bastille Day is a national day of celebration in France, commemorating the beginning of the French Revolution back in 1789. In other news, as a significant milestone for regional integration, Minister of Public Utilities Barry Pedarath has welcomed Martinique's formal accession as CARICOM's 7th associate member, describing the move as a major step forward in strengthening cooperation and ties across the Caribbean. Speaking during the Bastille Day celebrations on Tuesday evening, he highlighted the significance of the development, noting that Martinique's acceptance into CARICOM represents a victory for regional collaboration and partnership.
On the topic of Martinique, permit me to offer congratulations as on 16 June 2026, our French Caribbean neighbor formally became the 7th associate member of the Caribbean community, CARICOM, just a week prior. This is indeed a victory as I ask you to put your hands together to welcome Martinique as our French Caribbean neighbor, having been formally inducted as an associate member state of the CARICOM community.
Minister Pedarath added that the milestone reflects a broader commitment to regional cooperation and noted that TNT's delegation, led by Prime Minister Kalman Prasad-Bissessar, witnessed the historic development during the recent 51st regular meeting of CARICOM in St. Lucia. He outlined the opportunities expected to flow from deeper engagement with CARICOM's associate partners.
Let me assure you that at the conclusion of our meetings, our leaders agreed on a wide-ranging regional agenda aimed at strengthening cooperation to address shared challenges. We therefore look forward to the opportunities for collaboration and the bridges which will be built with our associate members in areas such as trade, energy, disaster management, education, and yes, football.
In sport, the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, in collaboration with the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago, recognized the historic achievements of this country's under-16 female netballers on Tuesday. The VIP lounge at the Hazley Crawford Stadium was the setting for the special ceremony honoring Trinidad and Tobago's 2025 and 2026 national youth netball teams for their victories in successive editions of the Jean Paye Caribbean Youth Netball Tournament. Among the speakers was 2026 captain Jerusha Devines, whose team successfully defended its title on home soil this year, finishing the tournament undefeated.
As the 2026 captain, I would like to assure everyone that we are committed to working hard, remaining disciplined, and giving our very best to continue the proud legacy of Trinidad and Tobago netball. To our coaches, management team, parents, and supporters, thank you for your continued belief and investment in us. We promise to represent our country with pride, passion, and determination. To the 2025 team, thank you for paving the way and showing us what is possible.
And that's what's making the news this morning. However, joining us right now is Virmala Balkaran, the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, on this happy Friday Eve. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. Seems like you're in a good mood today.
I am in a good mood because I slept well at last.
And it's not because of a heated conversation we all had this morning.
No, what you will not share on air.
Exactly. You know, I'm glad that we taught you some things. How are you? How was your day yesterday? Did you view the game anywhere?
No, I did not get to see the game. I know it was a nail biter, and just in the last few minutes, such an upset. Well, that kind of shows which bandwagon I'm on, right?
Yeah, all bandwagonists assembled this morning.
Oh yes, and we'll all be assembled on Sunday.
I am totally okay with that. Yes, we're coming here on Sunday. So just extending an official invite to you, Carrie, that you can be a +1 to me on Sunday right here, and everyone can actually attend. All you have to do is head across to islandetickets.com and just type in the search bar "Game On" the finale right here at TTT Media Limited, and you get yourself a free access pass, and you can come and enjoy everything that we have for you.
See, just make sure you signpost that again. It's free, so you just need to go on Island Tickets. That's the only requirement. Go on Island Tickets and get yourself a ticket. That is absolutely free, and you can be here.
Lots of giveaways, performances. It'll be so many things to enjoy. So we will all get together here, and then we'll see all the bandwagonists like Carrie.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna find myself a Spain football jersey to come in with, and to show like I am. What's that?
And for the other team, what paraphernalia would you have?
Oh, just don't come.
So you're on Spain's side. All right. Okay. No problem.
100%.
Okay, Carrie. Well, we're looking forward to today's show. It is Tobago Thursday. And you know what we do? We spotlight everything happening in Tobago. By the way, I have to say, Tobago people are just so lovely, And
warm, right?
Very, very warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I genuinely enjoy going there. We have to go there again soon, maybe you should do a right here segment there.
I should do about 10 right heres in Tobago one time.
I'm going, and I'm navigating this time.
What you actually, I know you don't like the outdoors, so it's because it's Tobago.
Yes,
okay,
and also it's because I'm a great, I'm a great Waze user. And I can help you. Yeah, I think you will really appreciate that. All right, Carrie, well, I'll talk to you soon, and the show gets started in just a few minutes.
All right, looking forward to it.
All right,
thanks so much, Virmala. When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going right after this short break.
Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
I'm Virmala Balkaran, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease. So a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, we need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z. Or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugs Bot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch terrific Toon Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
Thursday, 9th July 2026. The time now, it is 6:11 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. Well, two of America's best-known restaurant chains are getting ready to open their doors in Trinidad and Tobago. A video showing construction work at Grand Bazaar in Valsayn has been generating buzz online as IHOP and Applebee's prepare to launch their first local locations in a new dual-branded restaurant. And the opening is expected to create jobs and support local suppliers and introduce a new dining experience for customers in Trinidad and Tobago. The two brands have been owned by the same parent company, Dine Brands Global, since 2007, when IHOP acquired Applebee's in a U.S. $2.04 billion deal. And the dual brand concept combines IHOP's all-day breakfast menu with Applebee's casual dining favorites all under one roof, and has really been successfully introduced in several international markets. And before I get to the next story, just want to take a quick moment to talk about, everything that has been happening on social media when it comes to this situation. Been seeing all the comments with people a little bit mad that some people are a little bit excited about the fact, over the fact that these restaurants are opening. And I just want to say, some people are not traveling. Some people do not have that luxury, and they want to enjoy something a little different and special. And I do not think that we should, make fun of that. So just let people have things. If you don't want to enjoy something, let other people do that. Yeah. Well, in case you missed it, the San Fernando licensing office will be temporarily closed on Friday, July 17th, and that's tomorrow, for essential maintenance. Now, all licensing services will be unavailable for the day and will resume on Monday, July 20th. Well, customers with appointments on Friday do not need to reschedule and will be accommodated between July 20th and the 24th with proof of their original appointment. And also, effective Monday, 20th July 2026, revenue collection at the licensing division cashier stations will now close at 3:30 p.m. Well, continuing news from the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation. Have you seen the new road markings installed along the Eastern Main Road in St. Augustine? And these improvements are expected to improve traffic flow, enhance driver awareness, and really create that safer, more organized environment for all road users. And England bottles it. What a game! England's World Cup dream is over after a heartbreaking 2-1 semi-final loss to Argentina. Anthony Gordon gave England the lead, but late goals from Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez sent Argentina into the final, where they'll face Spain. Some people are so happy about that, and then some people are crying. England will now take on France in the third place playoff on Saturday. Well, it is Tobago Thursday, as we said before, where we spotlight all things happening on the Sister Isle. And then, we also link up with Sweet 100.1 FM as usual. Lots to look forward to when we come back. But for now, grab your cup of coffee and settle in. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
It's been 2 years since Andrew passed.
You have to trust that God's gonna pull both of you through this dark time.
Hannah, this is Sergeant Barnes.
Hannah Jacobs, would you like to go on an in-person date with me?
We're going on a date.
He even took a liking to Carmen after you left.
Oh my god, that's great!
I tried telling him how the distance sucked and how I missed him.
Something's off, man.
He said he wants to take a step back.
This is when you must have faith and hope. Oh, it is a season of faith and hope. So come jingle my
heart. What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago today on TTT. Now, just an update for you on the situation in Venezuela. Now, recovery efforts are now shifting from emergency response, as we've seen over the past few weeks, to rebuilding now after the devastating June 24th twin earthquakes. Now, according to PAHO, get this, the death toll has risen to 4,333. Just think about that number. And that's 16,740 people injured, 17,907 people displaced, and 38 health facilities damaged. Now, the acting president has also thanked Trinidad and Tobago and, of course, other CARICOM nations for their humanitarian support. We've sent emergency supplies, medical equipment, and also specialist teams. Also, the regional relief effort coordinated by Guyana delivered 88 containers of aid to Venezuela, while Haiti also deployed 35 doctors and a field hospital. So now the top priority is to really restore healthcare services and repair all the damaged facilities. So we'll continue to bring you all that information as it comes to hand. But today is Tobago Thursday on the show. And inside today's show, we have a packed one for you. Very shortly, we'll be joined by the TEMA director to continue talking a little bit about TEMA's Venezuela relief efforts. But for now, I have to ask you, have you ever heard about tufting? Well, this skill is becoming an increasingly popular form of textile art around the world. And one Tobago creative, Tennille Myers, is helping to introduce the craft to the island through her business, Tufting by Tins.
Just pushing in, out small steps. You're turning the needle in the direction you're going.
Okay.
See? Down. Lovely. So tufting is a unique textile technique where additional threads or yarn are inserted on a basic fabric to create a raised surface or decorative pattern. Tobagonian Tennille Myers has been recognized for her skill in the craft and is now on a mission to share her expertise with a more hands-on approach called punch needle tufting. Tennille says her love for hands-on work led her to discover tufting. So I am naturally a creative person. I would have saw it on Facebook, even Instagram, and I was like, this is something really cool. So I did some research and just figured, yeah, I can give this a try. Self-taught, she continued honing her craft. It was a little tedious at the beginning. You know, it's not something where you could reach out to other persons in Trinidad and Tobago doing because it's something relatively new. But I, found some good resources and they were able to push me in the right direction. What started as a hobby quickly became a business through word of mouth. So initially I started doing the customized rugs, and it really started with me just creating a rug for a friend, and she would have recommended me to someone, and from that it recommended to a next person and the next person, and it initially turned from a passion to a business. Right? In the interim, mats would not sell whole year round. So I needed something just to plug in the little space for the time when rugs are not being sold. It was at this point that she began exploring punch needle tufting. It's more detailed and it's more therapeutic, right? So these smaller pieces is basically a more hands-on way to tuft. It could be more expressive, it could be more creative, it could be more personal. She explains that people can be creative with the items they make. It have customized mats where you can customize your own design on the bags, pencil case, keychains, anything you name it. It have different adjustable needles and you can use it to suit whatever material and create a little design. She has since introduced the craft through workshops across Tobago with overwhelming response. So at first I was like, let me cater for 10 persons, and I got 15. When I said, okay, I'll cater for 15, I got 25. So the experience is just very much overwhelming. The students are very much excited. I did work with the police youth clubs, the different community centers, and the different youth groups across Tobago. Even the Standard 5 children got a chance to experience tufting, seeing that SCA is over and they are now in relaxed mode. Her sessions, including one at Poetry Cafe at the Scarborough Esplanade, gave participants a creative outlet. Another session at the same venue is already in the works. Meanwhile, Tennille is also offering take-home kits to encourage more people to try tufting. So if a person just wants something to do at home, pick up a little art rather than being on the tablet or on the TV, this is something very interesting they can get into. I have packages coming out soon, so they can, purchase the package. I have tutorials so they can see the videos, they can learn how to thread the punch needle, and just sit at home, relax, and partake in something very creative. She hopes that the craft can inspire young people to explore creativity beyond the screens. I noticed that there is a gap between young people and being creative. The young people kind of gravitate into social media. So, we want something positive that could push them in the direction to be expressive and also create something unique rather than sitting on the computer and partaking in those kind of leisure. Looking ahead, Tufting by Tins plans to open a storefront to expand the business and host workshops. I am Caricia Douglas for TTT News, and I love Tobago.
Thank you, Carissa. Definitely looks interesting. I don't know. I'm not very artistic, but definitely worth, giving that a try. Well, just a reminder, as we are talking all things Tobago, remember that Caribbean Airlines will add more than 7,600 domestic seats between Trinidad and Tobago during the Java period. So that's something to look forward to if you are interested in inter-island travel. Maybe you just want to go for a quick getaway. Maybe it's for business. Whatever it is, just remember that they're increasing the domestic seats. We know that flights have been really hard to get recently. Well, it's time to take a short break. When we come back, there's more ahead. Don't forget, go get your passes at islandetickets.com for this coming Sunday's final viewing party at 11A Marval Road. We are the Mecca, TTT Media Limited. I'll see you in just a few moments.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digital is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Whatever the skies bring, stay prepared with TTT weather. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT. And TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago, and thank you for starting your day with us on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Well, as I told you before, we're kicking off this morning by looking at the major humanitarian effort being organized in the Sister Isle by TEMA. And this very weekend, a TEMA donation caravan is hitting the road, traveling all the way from Scarborough up to Charlottesville and back to ensure every Tobagonian has a chance to contribute. Alan Stewart, director of TEMA, joins me this morning as he shares how we can all bring hope and relief to these families. Good morning, Mr. Stewart. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, and good morning to your members on the team and all of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, Mr. Stewart, TEMA has always been at the forefront of disaster response. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the decision to launch this specific donation drive and how critical the humanitarian situation currently is in Venezuela?
I think it's important for us to set the stage for this discussion by really highlighting what is going on. So Venezuela is actually at this time, especially the northern side of Venezuela, is having what one will describe as a humanitarian crisis. Venezuela is facing a national emergency based on the duplet, those two consecutive earthquakes that hit them back to back. There is a lot of suffering. There is over 16,000 persons that have been injured. And it's important that the Trinidad and Tobago population understands that. And they are over more than 4,700 persons have lost their lives. And those figures are set to rise. In addition to that, just between 40 seconds, they have experienced development turned into rubble that the pundits are saying, the United Nations is saying 20 million tons of rubble. And that paints the picture of what we consider to be catastrophic. There are over 19 1,000 persons that are without homes at this time. You know, they have lost their homes. Those are the amount of homes. And even as they go through it, there's over 1,200 aftershocks. We know in 1997 what we experienced here in Tobago in the 1962 earthquakes that impacted Tobago. And as a result of that, we saw the upkeep based on the national mandate set by the Prime Minister in terms of providing assistance to our neighbors in Venezuela. And therefore, we rise to the occasion to do so with the understanding that this help is not just needed, that it requires a level of empathy. And when we ask, why FEMA decide to go down this road? It seems as though you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Stewart, you were saying?
Yeah. So the question asks, why do you think that we are doing this different? What we recognize is that even though our neighbors are very close to us, there are some distinguished difference between us in terms of our language, their language barriers, and it's difficult for sometimes for people to perceive exactly what is happening on the ground. And it's important for us to move with empathy and not empathy. And therefore, we are making this drive in such a way. We recognize what has been happening, the upkeep or the uptake to the drive when we started doing the conventional way seemingly did not touch everyone. And we just want to make sure that persons understand that whatever little that you give to this cause will go a long way. So the drive is on. We call it the Marathon Drive, 26 miles from Charlottesville to Scarborough. And we have set up these depot points where persons can deliver donations. And we are asking persons as little as it can be. The quality is in the magnanimity that you come forward with, the benignity, the love that you give to our brothers and sisters currently suffering in Venezuela.
Okay, Mr. Stewart, let's talk a little bit about the caravan now. Can you tell us what items are needed? Give us the drop-off points. I know you're hitting the road this weekend from Scarborough all the way up to Charlottesville, right?
Yes. The important thing is for us to get up to Charlottesville, leave Charlottesville at 10 o'clock, and we touch all the major villages. The collection points are set up by the major shops and supermarkets within these districts. Bayside by the Search Center, Delaforte, where you have Doggies and all those places in Roxborough, Argyle, Kendall. As we come down the road, we'll be picking up. So what we are asking persons to do, the items that are needed on the ground is non-perishable items if they are foodstuff. And therefore, we ask persons, even though it's a can of milk, even though it's a can of tuna, even though it's a can of sardines or baked beans, make it available, because what is happening on the ground in Venezuela is very harsh. People are sleeping in tents in open areas. As I indicated, over 17,000 persons are homeless. That homes are destroyed, and therefore we need to rise to that occasion. Along the pathway, we will drive through the village and make our way down to Charlottesville while we are doing something similar on the north side of the island. We will try to keep the media up to date as to what is happening. We are asking people to rise to this occasion. Let benevolence move you to the point where you can give whatever small it is, whether it's 1 tin, 2 tins, 3 tins, a case of whatever, make it available and make it count. It's important that we do this. This begins, we leave Scarborough at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. We get up to Charlottesville. We start the action in Charlottesville at 10 o'clock, where we mobilize everyone in a convoy style, and we come through those villages, touching base with these pickup points, and we will see what we can do to help the people of Venezuela.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Stewart. Thank you and the entire team at TEMA for your incredible coordination and leadership during this crisis. And we'll definitely keep updated with all that's happening and share with our viewers how they can be a part of this as well. We wish you all the success with the caravan.
And thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, folks, if you're in Tobago, listen out for that music truck this weekend as it makes its way from Scarborough to Charlottesville, and let's show our neighbours the true meaning of community. And if you missed the caravan, please visit any of the certified TEMA drop-off depots across the island. We have a lot more coming up for you on today's show. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
For this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 10-20 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by...
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. As these women of vision share their stories of success. It's Caribbean Passport TV on TTT, Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Who says you have to wait until December? This July, TTT brings the warmth, wonder and magic of Christmas in July. Escape into heartwarming Christmas movies every weekend, filled with love, laughter, family, romance and unforgettable holiday moments. Then keep the celebration going with spectacular musical entertainment featuring beloved local performers, festive concerts and inspiring performances from both young and established talent. It's the perfect reason to gather the family, make lasting memories and celebrate the joy of the season right in the middle of the year. Christmas in July, all month long, only on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
As we continue our Tobago Thursday, we shed a light on a crucial initiative that is blending community support with a deeply important national mission. Well, joining us this morning is Anne Natasha Second, Director of the International Advocacy Against Child Abuse. And this NGO has been working tirelessly to protect our most vulnerable. And this week, they're giving citizens a way, a very delicious way, I should say, to get involved and support their cause. And they're hosting a massive breakfast sale this month end on Friday, July 31st. Right at the Garden Side Car Park in Scarborough. Anne, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Great to be here again.
Well, good morning again. And let's dive right into it. Tell us about this breakfast sale that's taking place at the Gardenside car park, and what time do things kick off, and what options do you have on the menu for people who are heading down?
So it is our anticipation that the very first patron will receive a piping hot breakfast from 7 a.m. So we start at 7 a.m. And it will be July the 31st. That's the day before Emancipation, right at the Gardenside car park in Scarborough. We have roast bake and fried bake, sweet bread and cake, fried fish, smoked fish, sausages, the works. Pumpkin choker body. It will be delicious, delectable chocolate tea, juice, any choice that you would like to have. And so we look forward to persons coming out from 7 a.m. So that you can get that delicious Tobago breakfast for a good cause.
Well, for anyone planning their morning commute or looking to maybe treat their office staff in Scarborough, tell us about the cost now per breakfast box, and do people need to pre-order, or can we just walk up and purchase?
Right, so we have had some tickets. We did 200 tickets and we have only 10 left. So we want all of our tickets sold between today and the weekend, because we want to have that pre-order well organized. But you can walk in as well, because we'll do some additional meals, because we want to ensure that we cover the cost and the expenses to provide for our young people going forward in September.
Now, I know we spoke about this before. 2 weeks ago, there was another fundraising initiative. I believe it was called the 5K Glow Run. How was that? Give us the update on it. How was the support and the participation?
Well, I want to just say thank you to everyone. The energy was just through the roof. Persons would have come out. They understood the cause. We started off with a nice aerobic session, a burnout session, and everybody's so excited. We want to do it again for the carnival season. Persons came out. They were excited about being placed first, second, and third, and so on. People finished the race and there were no accidents. So we're really grateful for such a really healthy participation and all of the enthusiasm from the patrons.
Now, every single dollar and raised from these initiatives, I know that it all goes directly toward your mission of ending child abuse and building brighter tomorrows. So can you share a little bit about these specific programs, the caravans, or whatever support networks that these proceeds will actively fund?
Yes. Earlier this year in April, we had our conference where we invited stakeholders from various organizations such as the Children's Authority, National Parents Teachers Association, Tutor, different organizations, everybody who is involved in the raising and nurturing of children. We do caravans, we do workshops for September, apart from giving back in terms of providing children with school books and stationery and so on, and supporting parents with food hampers. We're also going to be counseling the families, and we're going to be maintaining our database throughout the academic year, so we stay closer to the families. We keep that communication going, and we monitor their progress, their social progress, their financial progress, and so on. So we do a number of events, and we partner as we go along to ensure that we can build stronger, more resilient families and reduce and mitigate all of the impacts of child abuse, of all forms of child abuse, because the ultimate goal is to have safe environments for children to be raised throughout Latin America and the Caribbean.
Now, we know that advocacy work requires constant vigilance. And from your perspective on the ground in Tobago, what are the most pressing challenges that families and children are facing right now that make your organization's work so vital?
Children need supervision, and they also need to be cared for by environments that understand that they are the village and they are the caregivers of our young people. We have quite a few homes where drug abuse and different kinds of addictions are negatively affecting how we treat with children. So we have child neglect, we have sexual assault of children, we have violence against young people. We have on the other side of things where people have too high of an expectation of what a child can and should be doing, so that the child is deprived of effective playtime and the recreational time and so on. So there are a number of issues facing our young people. We want to get them to interact and to communicate more, and we want families to understand more about the effects of all of the forms of trauma associated with child abuse. So more supervision, more education, and more direct involvement and communication. Those are the areas that we want to focus on as we go forward.
Well, and before you go, for citizens both in Tobago and right here in Trinidad who want to stand behind your organization's mission, but they may not be able to make it to the breakfast sale, and I know you say you only have 10 tickets left, so that is disappointing for so many people who actually want to be a part of it. How can we contribute or donate, or how can we volunteer our time?
Yes, volunteering your time is quite simple. You can maintain contact with us by going onto our social media platforms, iaka311@gmail.com, or you can make a donation directly to First Citizens Bank. That's our International Advocacy Against Child Abuse account. The number is 1-807-306. Or you can contact us, 474-2200, 384-5711.
All right, Anne, thank you so much for the vital work that you and your team are doing. We want to encourage everyone in and around Scarborough this Friday to go head down to that breakfast sale, the Garden Side Car Park. 10 tickets are left, so you need to get those quickly. Thank you, Anne. Have a beautiful day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
That was Anne Natasha Second, Director of the International Advocacy Against Child Abuse, speaking to us live via Zoom from Tobago. Please do your part to help build a brighter tomorrow for our children. We have so much more coming up for you on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house limes. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar. This isn't just radio, it's tradition. It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Who says you have to wait until December? This July, TTT brings the warmth, wonder and magic of Christmas in July. Escape into heartwarming Christmas movies every weekend, filled with love, laughter, family, romance and unforgettable holiday moments. Then keep the celebration going with spectacular musical entertainment featuring beloved local performers, festive concerts and inspiring performances from both young and established talent. It's the perfect reason to gather the family, make lasting memories and celebrate the joy of the season right in the middle of the year. Christmas in July, all month long, only on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Well, we're shifting our focus to a remarkable young leader making waves on the international stage. Joining us live from New York City is Tobagonian powerhouse Anthurium Lewis, a UN young leader for the Sustainable Development Goals. Anthurium is currently at the UN headquarters for a high-level week of discussions, including meetings with the UN Secretary General, and she has even been invited to host a major football event right inside the General Assembly Hall with the president of FIFA. Anthurium, a very good morning to you and congratulations on this massive platform and all that you're achieving and enjoying right now. And thank you for joining us from New York today. How are you?
Good morning. I am well. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to you as well. I am elated to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
How's the weather today in New York?
The weather is actually quite hot. It's one of the hottest weeks that's actually have been recorded in New York City. But compared to Tobago, I don't think it's much different. So I'm managing.
Good. Well, Anthurium, you're right in the thick of it at the United Nations headquarters. What has it been like walking those walls this week and meeting with the UN Secretary General and really representing the Caribbean on such a global stage?
It has really been an honor to be able to stand in this UN headquarters and speak on behalf of the people of my region, the Caribbean, small island developing states, and champion different causes. So one of my favorite sustainable development goals is number 2 of zero hunger, because it aligns very closely with my foundation of Fruits for Tomorrow. And it's just been such an honor because it's not an everyday occurrence to go and say you spoke or met with the Secretary General of the United Nations. And today I'll actually be meeting with the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. So it's a lot of important meetings happening. Just yesterday, I actually spoke on a panel at the Australian Consulate about tourism, because that's my expertise area. So they asked me questions related to sustainable tourism and how they can still maintain their natural resources even with maximizing tourism in different travel destinations. So they asked me questions along those lines. And throughout the week, I've been so busy. It's a very full calendar from morning to night, not even evening, to night, from morning to night. And today is also one of those days. But it's been such a pleasure, not only to have this opportunity for myself, but to represent a greater cause than me, and to be able to say I spoke on behalf of my people.
Yeah, I understand, Anthurium, that you have a sport background as well. And I also understand that you are stepping into the General Assembly Hall to host a massive celebratory football event alongside the president of FIFA and global icons. That is so exciting. How do you feel about that?
Wow, it's like a dream. It's very interesting. It's going to be on Friday. So there's a full day of football events. But the highlights of all of that would be in the General Assembly Hall. There will actually be over 2,000 persons on the United Nations headquarters ground, comprising of, well, of course, you have your youth representatives, member states, you have the FIFA members, President Infantino. And it's going to be such an honor. There's going to be different excellencies there, and different people who also are experts on mental health, because one of the discussions that will be had is sports for mental health, in particular football. So this is a historic event. It's the first of its kind that's going to be ever happening, that partnership with this entire event between FIFA and the United Nations. And I am such elated, really, that I was asked and given this opportunity to host in the General Assembly Hall, because not everyone gets to stand at that rostrum. And it's such unbelievable. It's such an honor. And I'm really looking forward to making the best out of it, because there will also be a reception afterwards with a lot of celebrity footballers, those of which I cannot name for security reasons. But it's going to be definitely exciting.
Well, Anthiram, before you go, you've previously spoken about how young people, especially from the Caribbean, are sometimes told to leave, the big discussions to the older heads. What is your message right now to the youth in Trinidad and Tobago, or everyone watching, about the power of using their voice right now?
What I will say is there is no cap to your potential. Whatever you aim for, once you believe and you truly put the passion into it, the energy and the work into it, you can reach it. It's not by chance that I was given this opportunity. It's not by chance that I was chosen out of 33,000 applicants to become one of the young leaders for the Sustainable Development Goals appointed by the United Nations. You have to work very hard. And as much as people may see me smiling and coming to interviews, it's not an easy tool, right? But it's something that once you really enjoy what you're doing, you will push through to the end. And what I will say, it's youth deserve to be in these rooms, right? They are able to contribute unique assets and perspectives to these high-level discussions. And it would not be fair to not have them in these rooms, especially as we like to say that they're the future leaders of tomorrow, but I believe that we can also be the leaders of today. We have so much skills and experience, even at our young ages, and I believe we can contribute a lot to these discussions.
All right, thank you so much.
Push for your greatest and strive even higher than what you were striving for before, because it's possible, and you can use me as an example of that you can enter into those UN halls as well.
Yes, well, thank you, Anthiram, so much. You're really making us proud. Have a great day and enjoy all the celebrations and everything. Soak it all up, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Anthiram Lewis, UN Youth Leader for the SDGs, speaking live from the United Nations headquarters in New York. Very inspiring this morning to see our youth taking up space where it matters most. And, we'll have so much more for you on that when Anthiram returns. And, of course, on the other side of the hour, we'll have a lot more for you. But Carrie's up next with the major network news.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on,
I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digicel is kind of a comfort, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel and I never regretted it.
Harlan, let me tell you something. I back in here long time. Everybody talk about Harlan. I back in Harlan. I'm telling you, since 2023. You know who used to train him? Maradona. I watched him in the last World Cup 2023 where he scored 5 on them. I'm telling you, everybody want to call me a wagonist. Wagonist nothing. Look, this jersey signed by Zlatan and Drogba.
But I say England jersey, no way.
All of them white. Oh God, them fellas moving cold. You in control of the ball. Let's not make them warm up, I train Pele and Zlatan. You in control of the ball. Clearly offside. Call Trump. He has to fix this. Clearly offside. They're not seeing what I see. 26, 27, 28, 29, 20, 29. We're there.
Which fan are you? Whatever kind of football fan you are, you'll find every one of them at Game On, the finale. the ultimate football watch party experience. Powered by Digicel and the TTT Limited Media Network. Catch all the action on Sunday, July 19th at the Mecca, 11A Marval Road, Port of Spain. Gates open at 1 p.m. Game on, the finale. Don't just watch it, experience it.
You watch that game? Tiff the tiff.
This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. French Ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Guillaume Père, has welcomed Trinidad and Tobago's election to the United Nations Security Council, describing it as a significant achievement that will ensure the Caribbean's voice is represented in global discussions while further strengthening cooperation between the two countries.
Been very happy to see Trinidad and Tobago be elected very widely to a seat in the United Nations Security Council. We are happy because we believe in the wisdom that lies here, in that country so diverse in its population, where every creed and race finds an equal place, that of a country that will carry a unique and necessary voice, the voice of a cultural powerhouse, the voice of the Caribbean, the voice of small islands, voices that must be heard.
The ambassador said France shares many of Trinidad and Tobago's priorities for its Security Council term, adding that both countries are committed to working together on these global challenges.
The priorities that Trinidad and Tobago has chosen to work on during its term at the Security Council are meaningful and essential. Women, peace and security, fight against armed trafficking, regulation of artificial intelligence. All these priorities are shared by France. We share those priorities, and we are therefore looking forward to dialogue, to working hand in hand and promoting common advocacy on these issues.
The ambassador was speaking during Bastille Day celebrations on Tuesday. In other news, the American Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago, or AmCham-TNT, has facilitated direct engagement between local companies and senior representatives of the U.S. State Department and the International Development Finance Corporation, opening the door for potential financing of major investment projects valued at $5 million and above. The high-level engagement was led by Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Barbara Feinstein, Chief Policy Officer of the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, Carolyn Vick, and U.S. Chargé d'Affaires, Philip Kern. AmCham-TNT's CEO, Nirad Tiwari, said the initiative demonstrates the Chamber's commitment to creating opportunities for members and strengthening TNT's investment climate. He added that greater access to international financing could support business growth and economic development. In some crime news now, a man was killed and 2 others injured in a shooting in Diego Martin on Monday night. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Kadeem Mason of Cicada Drive, Diego Martin. According to reports, Mason was lying with 2 other men in front of his home at around 8:05 p.m. when a white Nissan 80 wagon pulled up alongside them. The 2 men got out and began firing at the group. One of the victims ran into an open garage while the other ran toward a nearby shop. When they returned a short while later, Mason was discovered on the ground with gunshot wounds. One of the injured men drove him to the St. James Medical Facility. However, Mason died minutes after arriving at hospital. One of the victims was treated for a gunshot wound to his right foot, while another victim suffered a bullet graze to his left. West End police are investigating. And in some sport now, England's World Cup hopes ended in heartbreak as Argentina struck twice in the final minutes to snatch a dramatic 2-1 semi-final victory. England led through Anthony Gordon's 55th minute finish from a Morgan Rogers cross and looked set for their first men's final since 1966. But Argentina rallied late with Enzo Fernandez blasting home an equalizer from distance in the 85th minute before Lautaro Martinez sealed the win in stoppage time. England's defensive approach backfired as Argentina pressed forward, booking their place in a second consecutive final. They will face Spain in New York on Sunday, while England must settle for a third-place playoff against France. And that's what's making the news at this time. When we come back after the break, it's our number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today. Stay.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports with Nasira Mohammed, daily at 7 p.m.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Hello everyone, I'm Pastor Lisa Singh from Heavenly Grace Ministries in New York, and I want to take this opportunity to invite you to join me right here every Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. It has been a fantastic 2026 so far, and the Word of God has just been unraveling in ways that we can only imagine. So I don't want you to miss out. Remember, every Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m. right here. Looking forward to being with you.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays, 6 p.m., Tuesdays, 1:10 p.m.
Welcome back to Tobago Thursdays. Well, whether it is disagreements over chores, financial stresses, or differing parenting styles, conflict is an inevitable part of living under one roof. But how we navigate these moments can either weaken our family ties or build a stronger, more resilient home. And to help us unpack the tools that we need for healthy communication is counseling psychologist Rhonda Thompson-Benjamin. Rhonda, it is always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you and welcome back.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you and to Trinidad and Tobago. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Well, Rhonda, let's talk about conflict now. Why is conflict a normal part of family life, but when does it actually become unhealthy?
So conflict, as you said, is a natural part of family life because families are made up of individuals with different personalities, opinions, values, and even needs. So many times persons expect that once they are in a committed relationship or they are married or have children, their values will automatically merge. And this is not realistic because intimacy, knowing somebody on a deep level, it really takes time and intentional effort. Now, even though we may have shared values, persons experience circumstances differently. So because of this, conflict is inevitable. Disagreements will happen. So whether they involve parenting, finances, household responsibilities, or relationships, things will pop up in our family unit. And many times persons have a challenge with disagreements because they do not see it as a natural part of the family dynamic. But it is in fact a realistic part of any living situation. In fact, conflict in and of itself is not the problem. It's about how families manage conflict. That is what makes the difference. Now, however, conflict becomes unhealthy when it's handled through what we call aggressive or passive ways. So it may be done through criticism, always finding fault in something that your family member does. Disrespect, maybe calling the other person names. So it can be towards spouses or children or other family members in the household. Emotional or physical abuse. Then there is the silent treatment that many persons think does not threaten relationships, because it actually does. It really creates that space where persons don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, they feel punished. And of course, there is manipulation. So we use different ways to really manipulate people into doing things that, we want them to do, or even avoidance. Sometimes we avoid the conflict completely so that we now believe that there is no, conflict or disagreement in the household. And then, of course, resentment will build. So when family members no longer feel emotionally or physically safe to express themselves, the conflict begins to damage the trust in relationships. So healthy relationship or healthy conflict management should ultimately lead to understanding, compromise, and stronger family bonds.
Now, Rhonda, what communication strategies can family members really use to dissolve or resolve disagreements, rather, while maintaining respect and strengthening their relationships?
So one of the most effective strategies is active listening. Many times we struggle with listening, so we are good at saying our needs or articulating, some of the problems that we are experiencing. However, when we actively listen, it means that we are listening to understand rather than just to respond. Many times, during conflict, instead of listening, we are waiting for the other person to stop so that we can come in to let them know what they are saying wrong, or to lay down another point that we would have come up with while they were speaking. However, family members should really, really avoid interrupting, making assumptions, or even becoming defensive when a person is sharing their needs. So instead of taking a step back when that person is articulating their feelings, take a step forward in terms of trying to understand. And one of the ways that this can be done is using, I statements instead of you statements. So this can also help in the reduction of defensiveness. So for example, saying I feel hurt when is much more constructive than saying you always. Yes, sometimes when we hear you did this, naturally we want to protect ourselves. So if we approach a situation with saying I feel hurt when you do not communicate with me, the person may connect, with the emotion rather than blame. So families should also choose the right time to discuss issues, meaning we're not talking about issues when we are already stressed. There are some issues that we have to communicate about. We may not be able to avoid it. However, when we are hungry, when we are tired, Those are not the times to have deep conversations. We have to remain calm, utilize some deep breathing when you realize that your emotions are becoming heightened, right? Avoid name calling and focus on finding solutions. Remember that you are all on the same team. And it's okay to take short breaks if emotions become intense and then return to the conversation once everyone is calmer.
That's really interesting. I read that somewhere, and I've been trying to put that into practice where you don't say, you did this to me or you hurt me, but, rather, again, I feel this way because of certain actions. And I really do think that it makes quite a difference. And I'm glad that you said that. And I'm going to continue putting that into practice. Now, Rhonda, tell us, how can parents now model healthy conflict resolution for their children? And what impact does this have on children's emotional development?
So it's important for us to remember that children are constantly watching how parents handle disagreements. So parents teach far more through their actions than their words. So sometimes, parents would tell their children, if you go to school and a child does this to you, ensure that you tell your teacher. However, if that is not shown or expressed in the household in terms of finding positive ways to handle disagreements, more than likely, they will do what they see you do rather than what you tell them to do. So when children see parents communicating respectfully, managing their emotions, apologizing when they are wrong. I want to repeat that one. Apologizing when they are wrong and, working through problems together. They learn that conflict management can be handled in healthy ways. So this really builds emotional intelligence because now they are not only able to see their emotions, but the emotions of others. It helps them to have empathy for others, to build resilience. So even during conflict, they are able to bounce back and maintain positive relationships. And it also helps them eventually with their effective communication skills. Because many times when persons learn communication skills from their family of origin, they go into their household of creation and really exhibit those communication skills. So as parents, we have to really think about, what do I want for my future generations? What do I want communication to look like, years from now? So it's important for us to understand that we are modeling literally the behaviors that our children would adopt. And on the other hand, when children are regularly exposed to shouting, hostility, unresolved conflict, they may develop anxiety. They may struggle with emotional regulation or unhealthy relationship patterns later on in life. So it's important for us to remember that healthy conflict management helps children to feel secure and it teaches them valuable life skills.
Yeah. Well, Rhonda, before we wrap up this morning, when should a family consider seeking professional counseling and what can they expect from that counseling process? Can you tell us briefly?
Yeah. So families should consider counseling when conflict becomes repetitive. Communication consistently leads to breakdown in trust or damage in the family relationships. So counseling is beneficial after major life transitions like divorce and grief blended families. And during conflict, the therapist provides a safe and confidential space for the family to work through those challenges. It affords every member of the family to feel heard. And the goal in family therapy is not to take sides, but to ensure that everyone's perspective is heard and developed. The family would be able to develop healthy coping strategies to work together to find practical solutions that strengthen family life.
All right. Thank you very much, Rhonda. It's always a A pleasure having you. Some truly powerful food for thought. And at the end of the day, a strong family isn't one that never fights. But as you said, it's one that knows how to resolve those fights with love and respect. Have a great day, Rhonda. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, and same to you.
All right. And if you or someone you know is navigating a tough season at home, remember that seeking professional support is always a step of strength, and it is not a weakness. And we have another interesting topic for you when we return after the break. But before we do that, remember this coming Sunday, Game On, the finale. It's all happening here at the Mecca, 11A Maraval Road, and we're going to see you there.
Digicel and TTT Limited Media Network presents Game On, the finale, the ultimate football watch party experience. Get ready to feel the energy, the excitement, and the passion for the biggest match of the tournament, the final showdown. Who will lift the trophy? And yeah, the best part, it's absolutely free. And you know, Trini's like freeness. But there's a catch. You must secure your exclusive access pass to gain entry. Log on to www.islandetickets.com to get yours. Gates open 1 p.m. So come early. Bring out your friends. Bring out your crew. Bring out the family. Stay locked into TDT Limited Media Network. Suite 100.1. Next 99.1. Talk City 91.1 FM for all the details. Game On. The finale. Don't just watch it. Experience it.
Powered by Digicel. Real connections. Creamy novelties. Live a little. Jade Monkey Bar Tobago. Campari. Embrace the mix. Magnum. Tech Charge. Stamina Energy. Rise to the occasion. Blue Waters. Life is better with Blue Waters. Cafe Barista. Savor the moment. The Castello Prosecco. Stoli Vodka. Bold by design. Allegra. Relief treatment that works. And the TTT Limited Media Network.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digicel is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel. And I never regretted it.
TTT Weather with Zaina James, daily at 7 p.m.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
I am your mother,
aunt, grandmother,
guardian, friend, and I promise to protect you in all situations because someone has hurt you, violated you, harmed you, abused you, and you were brave enough to tell me.
You trusted me. You came to me for help,
to defend, for support, to protect you.
No amount of money
or bribes,
favors, or gifts will stop me.
You are most important to me.
You are worth more to me than any material thing.
I will do all in my power,
in my heart,
to make sure that you are taken care of and that justice is served
and you thrive.
Together, my daughter.
My son.
My child.
We will live and love. I will protect you.
Break the silence. Report all cases of child sexual abuse.
Well, thank you for staying with us. And when we think of health threats, we often focus on human-to-human transmission. But the link between animal health and our own is incredibly close. Did you know that? Well, today we are looking at zoonotic diseases, illnesses that can jump from animals to humans, and focusing on a silent but deadly threat called rabies. And while Tobago remains free of rabies, Trinidad is actually home to Desmodus rotundus, and I feel like Dr. Crooks would have to ensure that I have to pronounce that correctly. And it's commonly known as the vampire bat, which serves as a primary vector for the virus. And to break down the preventative measures we must take and a critical vaccination call to action for those at risk, we're joined by from Tobago by Dr. Paul Crooks, no stranger to the show, media liaison of the Trinidad and Tobago Vet Association. Good morning, Dr. Crooks.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Is that correct? Is it Desmodus
rotundus?
Look at that.
Yeah, you did a pretty good job.
Good to have you here, Dr. Crooks. We really appreciate when you take the time to join us. You know, many people in Trinidad and Tobago might think of rabies as a disease of the past or something that only happens elsewhere. But how active is that threat of rabies now in our Twin Island nation today, and how exactly does it spread?
Well, I'm going to say it's a pretty active threat to the farming industry and the equine industry, the horse racing industry in particular. I would imagine that the majority of farmers and horse owners in the areas of Wallerfield and related areas, Castlefield and so on, would have had their animals vaccinated to prevent rabies. So the risk is there. It's an ongoing risk. When people hear the word rabies, they think perhaps about the Stephen King novel from the 80s, depending on the age, the Stephen King book, the Stephen King movie called Cujo, where there's this aggressive dog that's salivating, charges at people, tries to bite them. But it depends on the type of rabies that is in the area. In Trinidad and Tobago, our rabies is primarily spread by the vampire bat, which typically bites or scratches the host and then has an anticoagulant, which stops bleeding, in their saliva, where they cause blood to keep running from the little wound that they cause, and they lick the wound, they lick the blood from the wound. So farmers in the areas may be well aware of what vampire bat wounds look like on their horses, on their cattle, on their sheep. But we, the human individuals who may not be involved in farming, who may not interact with vampire bats, may not be aware of what the vampire bat wound looks like. And importantly, we ourselves may make contact with the vampire bat. So while we have a different type of rabies, it's not that we'll have animals that are necessarily aggressive and rush to us to bite us. The rabies is still typically spread in the saliva, and in Trinidad and Tobago, it's the vampire bat that is the most common vector for rabies virus.
Mm-hmm. Now, while Tobago is currently rabies-free, Trinidad has a documented population of vampire bats. That's fascinating. How do these bats interact with livestock and humans, and what are the warning signs of rabies in animals that farmers and pet owners should look out for?
Very good question. So, as I would have indicated, the vampire bats they do drink blood, hence the name, after vampires have become so popular in the past many years. The vampire bat bites or scratches the host or the animal that it is trying to drink blood from or get this blood meal. It bites or scratches, and then blood is steeping from the wound, the vampire bat causes that blood to keep coming instead of a clot forming, and the bat licks the blood. The bat's saliva is what contains the rabies virus. And of course, an open wound allows the virus to enter the host body. In Trinidad and Tobago, what we have is the so-called dumb form of rabies versus the, I guess we could call it the ferocious or voracious form of rabies, which is what people typically associate with rabies, where the animal salivates and becomes aggressive. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, the dumb or paralytic form of rabies typically causes animals to change their behavior, but not become aggressive. They actually become more docile relatively. They may, where you may approach a cow and it would normally run away if you're 10 feet away. As you approach the animal, it continues to stand and face you, or the animal may start to have seizure-like signs. Across the board, in all rabies cases, as the disease progresses, there becomes a time where the animal salivates more, and you do see that increased saliva production. But because these animals, these horses, sheep, and cattle, are not aggressive to humans, they are actually a very low risk of spread of disease. They tend to be dead-end hosts where the virus gets into their bodies and that's where it ends. Similarly, if a human being were to get the virus and become infected, it is very unlikely that human would ever bite another human being, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, again, because of the type of rabies we have. But importantly, rabies kills nearly every animal that it infects. It has an over 99% mortality rate once people start to show signs of rabies virus, or rabies viral infection. Once animals start to show signs of disease, they're very likely going to die.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know you're also making a very strong call for individuals who work or come into close contact with bats to be vaccinated. Now, who exactly falls into this high-risk category, and what does the pre-exposure rabies vaccine protocol look like for them?
All right, so it's a good distinction there to say that we are looking at pre-exposure and post-exposure prophylaxis or prevention of disease. Pre-exposure is for people who have very little risk or no risk of having been exposed to rabies at this point when they begin their vaccination program. So basically, you know you're going to vet school and you want to become a vet, you get a rabies vaccine. You are working with wildlife. Maybe you're undertaking a PhD program where you want to do some research into the housing and behaviors of the vampire bat specifically. So you want to go into the caves and so on and examine these animals. You are at risk. In fact, there was recently a case in Canada of an 11-year-old boy who apparently got rabies without a wound. A bat had landed on his face, chased the bat away. There was no scratch. Apparently, there was no scratch. There was no bite. It wasn't clear in the articles what species of bat contacted the boy. I doubt that would ever be known for sure, but it's very likely a vampire bat. But importantly, because the boy, became infected without being bitten or scratched, it means that there is a risk just being exposed to the aerosolized saliva. So if these little droplets are in the air and you are interacting with these animals, or you come into very close contact with the vampire bat in particular, the risk is there that you may be exposed and you may become infected. Of course, if your immune system is weakened, if you're a young child, if you're an elderly person, and this is the type of work that you undertake. Maybe you have an immunocompromising disease, such as human immunodeficiency virus infection. If you have something like that, then the risk is greater that you get sick when exposed. And so for all of these persons who are high risk and interact with bats or interact with dogs that go hunting or cats that are roaming in environments where we know the vampire bat is present, those persons could consider getting the rabies vaccine and should go to their nearest health center and inquire about it. Having assessed the person's risk, the health center can determine if the rabies vaccine is applicable or not.
Yeah, I'm very inclined to say that they are very cute, That's a statement that will come from me because we have some shots of them on the screen right now. They are very, very sweet. Now, Dr. Crooks, confirm for me, why exactly do bats bite? Is it that they bite because in self-defense, or when they feel improperly handled, or they're just defending themselves? Is that true?
It depends on the species of bat, right? So we have the fruit bat, which is very common in Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, Tobago doesn't have rabies because we don't have the vampire bat. At least we've never found the vampire bat here. Still, Tobagonians need to be aware of what rabies looks like, because given that we have free transport of animals from Trinidad to Tobago, it's always possible that an animal could come here in Tobago and start to manifest signs of rabies only after having come to Tobago, and we should still be able to recognize that. Farmers should still recognize that this animal is a potential rabid animal. But fruit bats eat fruits. Vampire bats need blood as part of their nutritional requirements for survival, basically. It's part of their normal habit, like mosquitoes to drink blood from us and from dogs to survive and to multiply, so do vampire bats. So it's not necessarily defensive. But of course, because we know that basically all mammalian species are at risk for rabies, if a vampire bat were to interact with a fruit bat, potentially the fruit bat could become infected. And now the fruit bat could pose a risk to someone else in its saliva. And again, if we take the Canadian example, the very sad case of the young boy, then it's possible that being exposed to the saliva of an infected animal and not having a bite, not having a scratch, could still mean by inhalation, perhaps, that you are able to get and contract this virus. It's important, therefore, that interactions with bats, regardless of how it happened or what species of bats, if there are interactions with bats, people should probably consider visiting the health center after exposure to the bat, so that they can initiate vaccine prophylaxis, where hopefully they can stop the disease from coming into their bodies.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Crooks. Every time you're with us, we have so much to talk about and then time runs out, but we're definitely looking forward to having you back and, to continue shedding light on issues like these. So we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day and keep doing the great work that you're doing.
Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.
Have a good day. Well, that was Dr. Paul Crooks, Trinidad and Tobago Vet Association Media Liaison. And if you work in agriculture, animal rescue, or forestry and frequently come into contact with wildlife, please heed the call to get vaccinated. While we get ready to take a short break, and then we head over to Sweet 100.1 FM to link up with Nicholas and Mark Anthony. See you there.
Rivalries, predictions, and bragging rights. Who are you backing? Who's already making excuses? And who do you think will lift the trophy? Join hosts Mariah Ramharak and Nasira Mohammed live on The Final VAR, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. as they discuss every controversy, every goal, and review every match from football's biggest stage, along with a panel of guests. The Final VAR, where the debate is as exciting as the game. Watch exclusively on TTT and stream on TTT Live online.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Being connected, it means a lot because, first of all, you can't do this by yourself.
When you have your phone, you always have somebody at your side. I could call for help, anything going on, you know.
You know, I'm giving children the opportunity to experience outside of their neighborhood.
Digicel is kind of a comfort, you know, you feel good that people in your lives are always able to be contacted.
I was with the other network and I was having problems, so I joined Digicel. And I never regretted it.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's Terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world on Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forest alongside our robot pals from Bugspot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
Good morning, Sweet. This is The Link Up with Sweet 100.1 FM.
And on Thursdays, we connect with our friends over on Sweet 100.1 FM. This is The Link Up. We're bridging that space between TV and radio and just checking to see what's happening on the other side. Where are my guys this morning? Nicholas and Mark, good morning.
You know, morning.
Morning, Virmala.
Come in one time, Virmala, because I'm under some pressure right now because this man here, he gave me
What happened?
He gave me,
So Mark decided.
Oh, boy.
I didn't decide.
He's now going to look for his Argentina. He said they call him.
I got a call.
And they asking him now to support the team after he jumped off the bandwagon to support the USA
Who called
team.
you? I want to know who called you, Mark. Let me.
I'm not supposed to call his name, but it's one of the hierarchies in the Argentina fan club.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So this is a real secret, but we shouldn't even talk about this. That's
No, once I don't call his name.
Oh.
Right? Look, even last night, Carlos welcomed me back last night.
Wow. Man.
Carlos was
Very
in his
interesting.
Argentina jersey last night, and Carlos said, boy, we missing your way.
Wow.
Carlos's words.
They've been doing very well without you, Mark. They've been doing very well they actually got to the finals without you. I don't think they need you.
Wow.
That's harsh words, boy. Because
Nicholas, you are very harsh this morning. I will not have you.
Thank you.
I think the team is good without Mark. I think they're good.
You know, when men tooting.
So I can expect to see you both on Sunday here at the final watch party, yeah?
Definitely.
And do I need to be worried about the two of you getting into any sort of,
well,
quarrel?
You see what happened? He said my ship went down a while ago, which is the truth. But while I was floating in the sea, the Argentine ship was passing at the sea.
And they threw us.
They said, look, one of ours is still.
A life
look, one is still.
This is the epitome of waganism. I'm just saying. This is that's a word. Waganism. We're using that this morning.
I don't know if that's a word, but I feel
that's
like
nothing.
Mark is starting to coin that term.
And I'm still accepted at most fan club places.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
When you look at
Mark, you look very cozy this morning in your not football t-shirt. What is happening? How are you so cozy with your Christmas tree, a cup of hot chocolate with marshmallows? I love the vibe.
Yeah, we're having a good time here right now, but we're so caught up in the football frenzy.
And we're playing your song in the background too.
I'm hearing it, guys. When we tested audio, I heard it and I said, no way. That is not my song. Thank you for playing that for me. That made my morning, although I can't hear it very much. Just so you know, it's my favorite Christmas song.
Wow,
What did
I told
what
him,
did
I
Mark
said, play
say?
Virmala song. I said, play Virmala song this week.
Oh,
He
yeah.
kept, you remember he forgot it last week?
Oh.
You remember he forgot the song last week?
That's okay. You know,
Virmala,
Mark.
you remember that?
That's all right. You know, I was still
don't wanna
take his
sink in
side
too
here
much.
and there.
I
You
know you don't wanna
he
sink in
needs,
too
he
much,
needs
I
a little help
understand.
sometimes. You know,
I know you
I
don't
don't
wanna
have a
sink in too
choice.
much.
Well, gentlemen, we are getting ready for that final watch party, and I know that you will have the best time ever. And I feel like I need to stand between both of you, at all times.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think
was
I'm
giving him
going
a story
to.
about. We'll give you that story next week. I was giving him a story about what I did. I was doing some blood work this week, and what happened. And I tried to trick the system, but they end up.
He tried to spray some numbing agent on his arm when he thought they would do the injection in a particular spot. And they didn't do it in that spot, so he sprayed it on both arms in the middle of his arm here, and then the back of his arm. And this man is crazy, and they did it in the middle of his arm, so it didn't work anyways because he sprayed it in the wrong spot.
That is really funny. That is funny. I've never heard of anyone doing that before.
I don't know why, and I tell him I don't know if that is even if it's supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's like $100 and something I pay for
Why
this
would
thing,
you do that?
$100 and something I pay for this thing and waste because they went in at the front spot. I tell them, lady, well, look here, use here, you know.
Did you buy one of the lidocaine sprays that people use to numb their feet or if they have any sporting?
That is exactly
Mark,
what
you're
he
taking
did.
the sport career very seriously, right? You're investing in numbing sprays now for your body parts.
Gosh.
Listen, guys, I'm going to see you on Sunday where we'll have a great time at the Game On, the finale. Remember, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you have to head across to L&D Tickets and you get those free passes. And the information is on the screen for you here. And of course, you can head across to our social media pages for more. Yeah?
Gonna have a wonderful time. We're going to have everyone from the various networks are going to be out there, and fun things, giveaways, and so much more happening. So make sure and get your ticket and come on out. If you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance.
Well, have a good day, guys. We're going to take in some of the weather this morning to prepare Trinidad and Tobago for, how we should head out. Umbrellas or no umbrellas. And well, Mark is already all cloaked up, so he's very cozy. Have a great day. I'll see you on Sunday and then next week.
See you on
all right?
Sunday.
Take care.
Bye-bye. That was the link up with Sweet 100.1 FM. Also, we have a weather update for you now with Zena James.
Good morning, Space.
This is The Link Up with Sweet 100.1 FM.
I'm Zena James with your weather update. Thursday will be another mostly sunny, hazy and breezy day as a moderate concentration of Saharan dust continues to dominate the atmosphere. Aside from the chance for brief isolated showers over western Trinidad during the afternoon, most areas will remain dry. Across the seas, spring tides remain in effect, so continue to exercise caution near the coastline. But otherwise, marine conditions will remain moderate in open waters with wave heights between 1.5 and 2 meters and slight in sheltered areas with waves below 1 meter.
One sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off,
long drives, or house limes.
We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar. This isn't just radio, it's tradition.
It's memories.
It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
All my best memories are here at the lighthouse.
But I'm telling you the truth. There's a real live pirate over there.
The light in the lighthouse doesn't work, Sully. It hasn't worked in years.
That lighthouse is coming down.
The lighthouse works, Dad. It does.
It sure does.
I believe you, Kurt.
What if possibility was only the beginning? Welcome to Limitless, a journey where ideas become action and action becomes impact. From breaking barriers and challenging misconceptions to designing with dignity and driving innovation with heart. This series explores how inclusion is moving from concept to community in Trinidad and Tobago. Across each episode, we meet the change makers and everyday leaders turning challenges into opportunity, building real solutions that change real lives, from possibility to impact. This is Limitless.
Just a reminder to head across to islandtickets.com and get your passes for the finals. That's happening this Sunday right here at 11A Maraval Road. It's all being brought to you. Thanks so much to TTT Media Limited and, of course, our kind sponsors. We have so much planned for you, but again, you have to get your passes. It's absolutely free. But you have to get those passes at Island D Tickets. Well, as we continue with Tobago Thursday, getting ready in a short bit to wrap up the show for today, we wanted to tell you a little bit about something called Let We Tell the Whole Story. So if you're looking for an excuse to hop across on the air bridge, or maybe to just jump on the ferry and head across to Tobago, tonight is marking the start of Tobago's most anticipated cultural showcase. The 39th annual Tobago Heritage Festival officially kicks off tonight under the powerful theme, Let Me Tell the Whole Story. Last week, we caught up with the Tobago Performing Arts Company for an inside look at the brilliant opening theatrical stage production. But tonight is just the beginning of a spectacular two-week lineup. And to tell us what else we can expect on opening night. And across this action-packed weekend is Lisa Arthur, Events Project Coordinator for the Tobago Festivals Commission. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
Good to have you here. Now, Lisa, the excitement is palpable because the festival officially starts tonight. Now, tell us everything we need to know as we, step through the doors for the opening gala tonight.
Great. Well, thanks for having us at the Commission. Well, the opening night really sets the tone for the next 2 weeks of celebration. In addition to what CPAC would have shared with you, patrons can really expect a vibrant atmosphere that celebrates Tobago's identity from the moment they arrive in the foyer. We will have cultural showcases other than the live performances and really opportunities to interact with our heritage displays. And during the official presentation of this year's festival program, patrons will be able to enjoy the richness of Tobago tradition while getting a preview of some of the shows to come over the next 2 weeks. An opening night is really more than a stage production. It's really the official start of the celebration of our creativity, community spirit, and the culture of Tobago. So an exciting atmosphere is in store, high-quality theatrical experiences, and the opportunity to really launch a really exciting 2 weeks dedicating, celebrating Tobago's heritage tradition.
Yeah. Well, in the interest of time, before we have to wrap up, just tell us everything that we need to know about these events and how we can be a part of it.
Okay. So in terms of knowing which events are scheduled, all our events are on our social media platforms and our website. And our first event kicks off tomorrow with the Old Time Heritage Fair, which is a combination of the Mason Hall Old Time games we used to play and a culinary experience. And moving quickly, everyone anticipates the Mariah traditional Tobago wedding. That's happening on Saturday. And in terms of getting to the event, make sure and leave home on time. Carpool if you have to, because the traffic would be heavy to get into Mariah on Saturday. Monday is equally exciting as we head to Charlottesville, which is equally exciting, and Charlottesville promises a really great production for visitors.
And Lisa, for our viewers watching in Trinidad this morning who want to make that last-minute trip across the waters this weekend, can we find the complete festival schedule anywhere? And what's your final pitch to them to get them over to Tobago?
Yes, all our social media pages and the websites, you will get all our updates on social media platforms. And our message is really simple. Each village has a story. Look at the calendar, see what intrigues you, and come. Flights are booked, but you can try and still see if you can get across and come and experience something that you can't experience anywhere but Tobago. Spend the weekend with us and help us tell the whole story.
All right, let we tell this story. Thank you very, very, very much, Lisa, for joining us this morning. And we look forward to all of this. And we will definitely get an update when this is all passed. And we want to find out how it went for you. Have a great one and a successful event.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
All right, no problem. Lisa Arthur, and that's the Tobago Heritage Festival. It's all starting tonight. Well, this is where we wrap it up for today. Thank you so much to all our guests for joining us, especially the ones in beautiful Tobago. This was Tobago Thursday. Now, tomorrow we do this all over again from 6 to 8. Thanks to our viewers. Thanks to our amazing team that we get to work with every single day. See you tomorrow, 6 to 8. Bye-bye.
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. as these women of vision share their stories of success. It's Caribbean Passport TV on TTT, Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just for you. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Good morning. This is your CDC News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. The Tobago Emergency Management Agency, or TEMA, will host a donation caravan this weekend to collect supplies in support of humanitarian relief efforts in Venezuela. TEMA Director Alan Stewart outlined the severity of the situation in Venezuela following 2 earthquakes measuring above magnitude 7.0 that struck the country on June 24, 2026, highlighting the urgent need for assistance and solidarity with affected communities.
There's over 1,200 aftershocks. We know in 1997 what we experienced here in Tobago in the 2 earthquakes that impacted Tobago. And as a result of that, we saw the upkeep based on the national mandate set by the Prime Minister in terms of providing assistance to our neighbors in Venezuela.
Mr. Stewart encouraged Tobagonians to donate whatever they can to support the relief effort and assist those affected by the devastating earthquakes. He stressed that contributions of any size may make a meaningful difference in helping victims and communities recover from the disaster.
So what we are asking persons to do, the items that are needed on the ground is non-perishable items if they are foodstuff. And therefore, we ask persons, even though it's a can of milk, even though it's a can of tuna, even though it's a can of sardines or baked beans, make it available, because what is happening on the ground in Venezuela is very harsh. People are sleeping in tents in open areas. As I indicated, over 17,000 persons are homeless.
TEMA's relief drive will leave Scarborough on Saturday morning and will stop at several villages and collection points on its way to Charlottesville. In some crime news now, 2 men have been arrested in connection with the robbery of a concrete plant in the Clear Waters district during the early hours of Tuesday. According to police, 3 security officers on duty at the facility were confronted by masked men, one of whom appeared to be armed with a firearm, around 3:40 a.m. The officers were forced into a security booth while the suspects stole about 20 feet of black cable and fled. Acting on intelligence, officers launched inquiries and intercepted 1 vehicle believed to be linked to the incident. A second vehicle was later found in sea lots, where police recovered a quantity of black cable, bolt cutters, and other cutting tools. Meanwhile, 11 people were arrested and more than $153,000 worth of cannabis seized during separate anti-crime exercises carried out under Operation Resolute Shield in the Port of Spain and Southern Divisions this week. Police said officers conducting searches at an empty lot on Quarry Street, East Dry River, on Monday found 1.74 kilograms of cannabis concealed in 2 rectangular packets. In a separate warrant exercise in the Southern Division, officers executed 26 warrants between Tuesday and Wednesday, resulting in the arrest of 11 people on first instance, time allowed commitment, and affiliation warrants. The operations involved officers from several specialized units and form part of the TTPS's ongoing crime-fighting efforts. In some sport now. The Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, in collaboration with the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago, recognized the historic achievements of this country's under-16 female netballers on Tuesday. The VIP lounge at the Hazley Crawford Stadium was the setting for the special ceremony honoring Trinidad and Tobago's 2025 and 2026 national youth netball teams for their victories in successive editions of the Jean-Pierre Caribbean Youth Netball Tournament. Among the speakers was 2026 captain Jerusha Devines, whose team successfully defended its title on home soil this year, finishing the tournament undefeated.
As the 2026 captain, I would like to assure everyone that we are committed to working hard, remaining disciplined, and giving our very best to continue the proud legacy of Trinidad and Tobago netball. To our coaches, management team, parents, and supporters, thank you for your continued belief and investment in us. We promise to represent our country with pride, passion, and determination. To the 2025 team, thank you for paving the way and showing us what is possible.
And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. From all of us here, have a great day.
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News.